Welcome everyone to your first step in mastering the German language. Today we are doing much more than just memorizing a list of vocabulary words. We are constructing the foundational framework for how you will eventually think and speak in German. I want you to approach this lesson with an open mind and a bit of curiosity as we lay the groundwork for your future fluency. Remember that every master was once a beginner, and simply being here today, you have already completed the hardest part of the journey, which is the starting. So, we will look at some German foundation here. Willkommen. We begin our journey with the encouraging and often surprising reality that German and English are actually cousin languages. This means that you already possess a hidden head start in your vocabulary without even knowing it yet. Some words share the same roots, and as we go through today's lesson, you will start to recognize these patterns, making the learning process feel much more intuitive and less like starting from zero. Think of this as discovering a secret code that you have partially known your entire life. Let's dive right into our first topic, greetings and phrases. This is how you will do every interaction in German. In German, timing is absolutely everything when it comes to social interactions, and your greeting sets the tone for the entire encounter. You will want to use Guten Morgen specifically for each early hours of the day, typically until about 10 in the morning, and Guten Tag will serve as your afternoon greetings for the majority of the afternoon, say. One of the most important distinctions to remember is Guten Nacht, which drops the N found in the Guten greetings because it is softened and more intermediate passing used specifically for the end of the night. When someone is going to sleep, imagine you are whispering this to the lights go out. When the lights go out, it's a wish for rest, not just a casual hello in the dark. A conversation is much more than just saying hello, as being polite is the quickest way to make friends when navigating a new language. You should pay close attention to the difference between the formal we gets as in which you would use with the stranger and elder boss, and the casual we gets, which is how is it going. You would use it for friends or your parents. Understanding these nuances shows deep respect for the culture and will make your interactions feel much more authentic and less when you are from reading from a rigid textbook. When in doubt, start formally. It's always better to be too polite and not polite enough. Next up is the alphabet. The good news about this is it is very similar to English. But the bad news about this is they sound very different. When we approach the alphabet, we must tackle our false friends immediately so you don't fall into common pronunciation traps. For example, when your eyes see a W, your brain must train itself to do a V sound. Wasser, for example. When your eyes see the V letter, your brain should be trained to see the F thing, farter. It's like that. J, Y, yeah, Z, Zit, like that. So there are special characters. There are umlaut in the four unique characters which represent the Latin alphabet, which is the two dots above the letter. So this letter sounds like E. This letter sounds like ur. This letter sounds like U. And this letter sounds like double S sharp. Cs. Now let's learn to count in German, which is the Zahlen. Nulls. Now look at these numbers: null, eins, zwei, drei, vier, fünf, sechs, sieben, acht, neun, elf, zwölf. Now from 13 to 19, You join the letters with Zane, which is 10 here. This leads us to what many beginners consider their biggest hurdle, the backwards rule. In German, numbers between 21 and 99 are spoken backward by the backwards rule. It definitely feels strange and a bit counterintuitive at first. But if you get the logic, if you understand it, then you will be able to say it properly. Like this: 75. Fum si bis. 21, 32, 44, 68 are pronounced by the reversed way, like as 75. Now that we have tackled the logic of smaller numbers, we are ready to step in the big league of counting. You will be relieved to hear that once we hit 100 means 100, you will be, which is simply 100. This system begins to feel much more like English again. Whether you are saying 100 or 1000, for 1000 you are just building so the blocks we have already laid down. We also need to look at the ordinal numbers like este or zweit, dreite, vierte, which is used for dates and ranking. This that may be your favorite thing, so pay close attention to how these are said. 100, ein thousand, zehn thousand, ein million. Erste, zweit, dreite, vierte, siebte, zwanzigste. Now that we have mastered the numbers, it is time to look how we organize our lives. The calendar. We start with the tag or the days of the week. You will notice that many of these are cognates, meaning they sound very similar to English, and they are Montag, Dienstag, Mittwoch, Donnerstag, Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag. They are like that. Then connecting these back to the English counterparts makes the list feel much less intimidating. Moving on to the monate or the months. These also sound like English, so there is no effort to translate them a lot. They are January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, and so on. However, you must watch out for the pronunciation, especially the letter J. It should be Y, Yuli, Januar, Uni, like that. So, remember our alphabet lesson where we learned that A with the double two dots on it sounds like E. So, August, like that. Mertz. Now that we have covered the basics, it's time to put your new skills to the test and see what you have retained. I want you to head over to the Lesson 1 Practice Hub, which I have linked in the description below. This is a dynamic space where you can generate thousands of unique exercises for your skills to sharpen it. Also, you can build your confidence before we move on to our next module. Don't worry about making mistakes here. Mistakes are a part of every learning. So, the hub is your safe space to environment, not to fail and eventually succeed. Thank you.